Hey there, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm back with Fragrancebuy. I really, as you guys know, was not really planning on getting anything from them again. And these were all fragrances that I had on my major, like mega wish list for ages and had kind of pushed them aside and believed to myself that I wasn't going to get any of these four. But two of them came out in tester bottles and I bit the bullet and I did it. They were all blind buys. We're going to do first impressions like we always do. And then I'll be back in a little bit to give my second impressions later on. The thing I will say before I forget is if you also are in Canada or the United States and want to get something from Fragrancebuy, I have a $5 off coupon in the description box below. And yeah, I was really excited to pick these up, especially as I say, because tester bottles, you know, offer a better deal. And these four, it was really hard to put them in an order to talk to you guys about because they were all pretty much around the same price and they're all blind buys and I'm kind of like equally excited / nervous for all of them. So the only thing I will say is the first one is kind of like the safest for me, and then the last three are just, I'm like equally excited and worried about them because they're just like one step outside of my comfort zone, and you'll see why. I'll get into it. But yeah, if you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe and let's get into it. So the first one is Valentina Poudre, and by Valentino, of course, and this is one of the tester bottles. So this is one that so many people have recommended to me, of just saying, you know, if you like powdery fragrances, like this is a great one, you should have it. It's a great designer one. And it's weird how it just, I was like, you know what, I just feel like, no, it's not for me. No, it's not for me. Not because I wouldn't love it, I'm sure I would, but I was just like, I feel like it's going to be way too similar. And when it came out in a tester and I just snagged it up, I was reading some reviews and it just seemed too much to my liking for me not to get into it. So this lists powdery notes: ambrette, tonka, tuberose, iris, vanilla, and sandalwood. And here's what the bottle looks like. It's a beautiful bottle. I love how it's matte and kind of, it feels a little like clay-like. And the original bottles don't have like a lid anyway, so I just thought it was perfect. The only thing that's really different is obviously the box, which personally I don't really keep 99% of mine. And it has a very small little tester sign right here, but that is it. So I think because there's four, I'm gonna try to spray them on my skin, but I do have some scent strips if I wanna do that as well. So okay, let's see here. It's definitely light. It's got a little bit of an alcohol-y opening, so I'm gonna give it a moment. It's definitely lighter than I was expecting. It's powdery, that's for sure. I'm getting some iris. It's not especially sweet. It's a little bit makeup-y, but it's getting better the more it's settling. At first, it just had a little bit of that alcohol-y opening. I really do love the bottle. It's very chic and classy. And I forget which video I was talking, or I mentioned this, but I feel like if you're someone who only has a couple bottles and you have them on your vanity or use them for display, this is a really stunning one, especially from a designer. No, it's beautiful. Okay, it's really coming alive now. It's a lot more like makeup powder, like face powdery right now, which I love. Wow. No, it's beautiful. I really like it. So that is Valentina Poudre by Valentino. Yeah, love it. It's very, it's giving me very much like a makeup-y powder scent, which I know is not for everyone, but I kind of like powdery fragrances in all of its forms, and this is very makeup-y, which I love. So that is a great one. And a good one to start off with, because as I mentioned, it's a little bit safer. The other ones all have like an element to them that I really think I'll love, and an element to them that's just a little bit out of my comfort zone. So The next one is actually from Penhaligons, and this is going to be my second full bottle from Penhaligons. And this is Iris Prima. And this is one, okay, it lists bergamot, pink pepper, iris, jasmine, leather, sandalwood, vetiver, amber, vanilla, and benzoin. And it was one that I just kept thinking the leather and pink pepper are possibly going to put me off. So I kind of put it aside, and I was like, you know, there's so many other irisy fragrances that are 100% my style or my type of fragrance when it comes to iris. This is maybe a step too far, and I kept putting it off, and it kept getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper because I think it's just discontinued at this point. And at this point I think it was like 60 when I picked it up for the 50 ml, which for Penhaligons is insane. And I just got it. So here's what it looks like. Really, really beautiful. I love their bottles. They're very stunning, very apothecary, like English apothecary style. So here we go. And we will spray this one a little bit higher over here. Okay. Immediately I'm getting a citrusy opening. I assume it's a bergamot. You definitely get that. And it's, yeah, it's really beautiful actually. I wasn't expecting it to be that strong because there's only one citrusy note, but it's definitely citrusy. I do get a pink pepper, but it's not too much. It's very much, there's an iris in there because it's kind of like in the background right now. Maybe in the heart it'll come up more or be more prominent, but it's very much like a wintry iris perfume, at least on my skin right now. First impressions, because of that leather and the pepper, and yeah, it's definitely not sweet. It's not a sweet iris or like a very extremely powdery iris or a makeup-y iris. It's got a lot of heart to it, which I knew was going to be the case, but I wasn't sure how much of it I would like, because I do like some richer, deeper fragrances for sure. I like pretty much a little bit of everything, but I was worried this would be too far into it, and it's not. Based on first impressions, I really, really do like it. Yeah, the leather is beautiful in this, and it's kind of like, it's a creamy suede-like leather, honestly. Yeah, I love it. Very, very nice. And in comparison to the Poudre by Valentina, Valentina is already standing out to be a lot more sweet than this. So I feel like this is a beautiful way for me to try to wear iris, which I love, more so in the colder weather. But yeah, love that. That's Iris Prima by Penhaligons. So now we get to the third one, and the third one was also a tester. So it was just in this little simple box. And this is one, again, I've been really, really putting off, and I just thought it's good, but is it a little too far? There's anise in this. I just thought maybe it would be too similar if I ended up liking it, or way too out of the box if it leaned more dark personally. But again, it went on a huge sale because it was a large tester bottle. And what's great about the tester bottle is obviously it looks exactly the same, but there's the notes on the side, which I don't think the normal bottles by Histoires de Parfums have. This is my first Histoires de Parfums fragrance, and I'm glad I went with Blanc Violette, which is just white violet in French, because it's just completely up my alley. And when you guys, if you've been watching me for a while, when you hear the notes, you are going to see why. So the notes here are in French. I'll translate them. There's violet, bergamot, iris in the opening. Then in the heart, there's violet, ylang ylang, and anise. And then in the dry down, there is violet, sandalwood, vanilla, musk, and rice powder. So violet is really, really prominent in this, and for being my favorite note, I just had to give in. So we will spray this over on this hand, right over here, maybe on this side, and see what we think. Oh, it's beautiful. It's very, at least, you know, the opening violet. We will get to the heart and dry down later on in my second impressions, but the opening is a very, very realistic flowery scent, like violet as the flower. It's not like a makeup-y or super powdery synthetic violet, which I do love. It's not even especially sweet. It's very authentic to wild violets, Parma violets. It's beautiful. It's a little citrusy, a little powdered, but not too much. And I'm really interested in seeing the dry down in this because it lists rice powder, and that is one of my favorite notes and ways to incorporate powderiness into fragrance. I love this. It's very, I will say, it's definitely not going to be for everyone. It's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit dated, but not because this is a dated fragrance. I just feel like the florals in this are very vintage smelling. They're very authentic. They're very, I don't know, simplified and clean, which is beautiful. I just don't know if this would be an easy or a comfortable blind buy for even a violet lover, because you might be more used to a much more synthetic, powdery smelling violet. But yeah, no, I really do like it. I will continue to wear it, and again, obviously come back with second impressions on the heart, the dry down, because there's so many different layers of violet in this, so I'll be interested to see how it plays out. But for now, first impressions definitely do like, and that is great to have because I was a little worried about that one. And then finally, the last one, some of you know because I've talked to you either through email or comments that I've been interested in this, but I'm just curious and I'm kind of putting it off. But as with these, since I was already getting them, I decided I'd just give in, try it out. This is the one I'm definitely most nervous about because I just don't really know what to expect. And this is Her by Zadig Voltaire. I've never had a fragrance by Zadig Voltaire before. This is the 100 ml, and honestly, it's been pretty hyped, and it's a very interesting fragrance to be hyped on YouTube, because I find usually if it's like the ones that are hyped by a bunch of different channels are usually, you know, gourmands, or they're super sweet or candy-like, or very, very popular, you know, even outside of the frag head community. And this is not the case. This is a really interesting fragrance for a lot of people to be buying and enjoying from different tastes. So it lists pink pepper, sambac jasmine, milky chestnut cream, vanilla, and sandalwood, I think. Yeah. So this is what it looks like. I will say, I've always liked looking at the bottle in videos because it's just very aesthetically pleasing. It's very clean. The sides here are kind of like not exactly straight down the line on this side. It's a little textured, and it's just interesting. I mean, the notes in this, like, I don't have any fragrances, I think, that list chestnut, let alone chestnut cream, milky chestnut cream. It was supposed to be a very milky, lactonic kind of fragrance and very heavy on sandalwood, which I do love, but it's just, I don't know, it's intrigued me. So we will spray it over here, higher up on my arm here, and then maybe if needed, I'll spray on a scent strip as well. Okay. Wow, first impressions, love this. It's very much like a sweet whipped cream. Oh, it's beautiful. There's definitely like a very soft, clean woodsiness to it, but in general, it's very clean. It smells very white and whipped cream-like, lactonic, definitely. I don't know if I'm very familiar with chestnut cream, honestly, and I'm not a huge fan of chestnuts anyways, and I just, yeah, it might smell very much like that, but I'm not really familiar with that. It does smell like a sweet whipped cream that you might put on top of like a latte or something. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a little woody, it's a little sweet, definitely milky. I can't believe this is the one I was most nervous about, because I can see now why it's mass appealing, because it just smells delicious and good enough to eat, but also very, very clean and slightly soapy, but like in a milky way. No, I love this. This is really, really nice. Very like understated and yet unique. Not too out of the box. It's getting sweeter even the more it's on my skin. wow, I love this. I was really expecting not to, and I'm just trying to compare them now. I really, really do like this. It's amazing. Definitely do recommend. I hate to push the hype even further, but personally, this is beautiful. I mean, I'll come back for second impressions, but this is beautiful, and now I'm so glad I gave into it. So we will get into it. It's gonna be hard. Wow, the Iris Prima really did come alive here on the skin, but I will say I would try to always put them in order when I do a haul, and I'm gonna try to do that, but this is just really difficult to choose a favorite, maybe because they're all powdery or clean. I will say I'll just put in last place, not because it's a hate, but in last place because the other three are really high. I will put Blanc Violette because, as I say, it's a very realistic violet fragrance, and it's not one that I see myself wearing every day. So excuse me, I will put this in fourth. Then third, second, and first, it's gonna be hard because I think I would regularly have put Iris Prima in third, but now I'm not sure. I will say I honestly put these two in kind of a tied position because I feel like they are just as beautiful as one another, but they take a slightly different route. I think this is a little bit more safe if you like regular powdery fragrances and you're really into them. This is a lot more safe than this, but this, as it's blooming on the skin, it's got a really beautiful bergamot that's honestly reminding me a little bit of the Acqua di Parma bergamot, and I think it's stunning, and I feel like it's going to be really, really nice kind of year round. At first I was thinking fall winter, but honestly year round, and I cannot believe this, but I'm gonna have to put this in first place for now. A, because it just surprised me so much, and B, I'm just really, really interested in doing a lot of full wear tests on this and coming back with a second impression. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.